This is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the old and young guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. Now remember, this also goes for the girls too. Alright, now this is video number 38A. The reason why now it has a letter is because we're going to break this video 38 into about 10 pieces because it's kind of long. And I don't want this to be like an hour of a video, so I'm going to cut them short. This will be a little, we're going to create the forms on this particular videos, which is actually this form right here. So I was playing around with this form. This form here is the cool. If you learn this stuff here, you will be able to learn how to insert, reset, reload. You got the buttons to view the database, create reports, create JSON files, you know what I'm saying? Create and read them, and then of course you're going to search, update, and delete from a database. This and plus the technique for you to upload a file. Now I want to let you know that the reason why I'm showing you this is because by learning this stuff, the whole thing from the beginning to the end, you're going to use this stuff and these techniques to do other projects because everything is there. Most of the time you get brochure websites. Those are websites that just look good. It's information, but a lot of the times you want interactive, right? That's why you do the forms, because you want to interact with the database. So a lot of times it's forms, right? You want to update files, definitely, because that's important. You want to create JSON files because those are things that be transferred over to another company in another building, right? So they get that information, then they just break it apart and then they can put it into their own database. That's a good mechanism, right? JavaScript, that's what helps out with that. But right now we're doing it with JSON, with PHP. So right now, we also could do the search, we could do the update, and of course delete the records from the database. So basically, if I went here, like to check out what the database looks like, I can just hit this, and this information, see? You get information. Because a lot of times they're going to say, oh, I want information. I want you to get all of them. I want you to get just some of them. I want you to do it. But with this stuff you learn, you're going to be able to do all these things. See, this is the database we're going to be working with. I'm going to show you in another video how to create a database and how to create tables, and of course your fields, right? And of course when you run this stuff here and you insert, it'll end up being in here. So you're going to learn all this stuff. It's going to be great. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let's start a new file. Right, I'm going to start this file right here, right? And just to let you know that we're going to be working with PDO. Now that's the stuff that we use to insert, delete, and update a record from a database. I will be breaking in, remember I told you, I'm going to be breaking it to smaller pieces so you can understand it, right? So I'm using MySQL database. It's called MySQL database, right? And it uses a language called structured query language, SQL, right? So we're going to be adding some of that into our PDO. In a little while, you'll see what I'm talking about. And from here, of course, you're going to learn a lot of stuff. We're going to introduce you to how to add to a row of the existing database and delete and subtract and all that good stuff. So right now, I'm going to use this. Now I thought about using the same HTML form from the last time. We're gonna build one anyway. We're gonna do it from scratch. So let's get this out of the way. Right. So now we're gonna be using HTML5 because that's all I do. I don't do HTML4. I don't do that craziness where they need for you to put in the doc type. You want to make it easy, HTML5 is the thing. And that's the latest stuff anyway. That's what people will be using. Your computer will be able to do it, so you'll be all right. So right now we're going to say doc type HTML, right? That's the doc type of the of what you are using, because HTML5 uses that doc type. With HTML4, it was like crazy. It had like like crazy, like for instance, it had something like you had to put in public and like DTC. I mean, they had to put a lot of nutty things, man, that there's no way I can remember. But usually, as a programmer, as a developer, you always keep a file of all your resources, so you can always copy. But no, HTML5 just makes everything much easier. This is all you need to do is put doc type that. So the next one is, of course, HTML, right? So it's HTML. You go like this, and then you close it up with another HTML like this. Then within these things, tags, the element, you're just going to put, the next step would be just to do the heads. So right, you put the head, right? And it's also closing head. So we're going to say /HTAD. Oops, a daisy, boom, that's it. And then comes, of course, the body. So we're going to say body. And then over here, we're going to close the body. So we're going to say BOD. That way, that's your HTML stuff. You've seen this before when I was doing this stuff here, right? So that's how that goes. Now inside here, you can put in the title. So you could say title, right? And this will say title, like that. And you could close it up like this. This is, now we're gonna add a viewpoint, the viewpoint statement, and the viewpoint statement tells the browser, this browser right here, that this area is of the web page is which the content is will be visible and rendered to this site responsively. That means that if it kind of went like this, and you made it smaller, see, it'll be smaller. See how it responds to it, to the box? That's what that means. So let's not make it too big. It's a lot of space there. So we'll keep it like that. See how it moved and everything? That's what that does. So but the way to do it is by going to the meta tag, which would be TAA, right? You use name. Let's put these, and we're going to say viewpoint because that's the name you're going to give it, because that's what it is. Oops. Make sure I spell that right. Viewpoint, and then you're going to say content. The content themselves is going to be equal to the width, right? Equal to the width, equal to device width. I know. They say, wait a minute, 2 equals sign. Yeah, it's like that. You're assigning all this stuff to this, okay? So we're going to say, what is it? Device width, right? And you're going to say equal to that. And then you want have initial scale, and that would be 1. And then you go like this, and of course you can close it up like this. Now we can add another meta tag. We'll put it underneath here. We're going to say meta. We're going to say HTTP equivalent equals to content type. I think that's how it's spelled. And I say content type. And then you're going to say the content of this file, of this whole thing here, will be HTML. And of course it's text, right? So we're going to say equals to text / HTML. Then of course you're going to put semicolon because you want to add something else. You want to add what character set. We're using UTF character sets. So it will be something like character set equals this. You want to say in caps UTF-8, and of course just to close it like that. So the UTF is a variable length like character encoding statement that you use for the electronic communications. You know, it's ASCII because we'll be using ASCII. So now let's add a description. Now this all stays within the head. So if you add the description, it will be meta description. Sorry. What is it? It's the name and description. That's right, just like over here. Name. Description equals to that. Then you're gonna save content and whatever you want to say. These are the things that pop up when you go, you know, search a topic. You know how you get like, oh, these are the websites that have it, but then they give you a small little paragraph. And this is what this is. This is where you put all this stuff in. But we're gonna say this is meta description sample. Yeah, like that. And then of course close it up. There's a lot more metadata that you would need to do, because if you get, we'll do another video about all that. So concentrate on what's required within the head, because if you're doing this in production world, you want a whole bunch of stuff there. Yeah, it's the way it is. There's a lot more, and that we'll show you in another video. So then you close the head. So there's the head, right? We closed it. Now we're gonna add the PHP script right in here. Now you can start it by putting the PHP delimiter. Matter of fact, let's give it a name. What did we call it the last? We'll say let's save it to, I'm gonna save it to my there. I'm gonna call it, what should we call it? We'll say crew script. About that. We're going to say PHP because we're going to be adding PHP to this HTML script. So let's save it. Did it do it? And then in this one we could save it in there. What did I call it? Screw, where are we? There we go, so right here. See, it went into HTML. And we're right into HTML. Sitting here in the database. So if we go look, and then we go where is it? Let me see. Is that in here? So we should make this a little smaller. Okay, here it goes. Right here. Alright, man. So that's the story here. So now what we want to do is we want to add some PHP stuff, because I know we're going to use, wait a minute. Why are we getting this? Well, yeah, that's okay. I didn't like this one. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see. CRD script. Okay, Okay, good. So it's in here. So then what we're going to do is we're going to add some PHP delimiter. So this is how it's done, right? And this is how you close it. You've seen that before. And we're going to add a couple of global variables because I know we're going to use. So we're going to say global dollar data first name. I'm going to say global. I know this is different than the other one. Global dollar data last name. What else we gonna need? Oh, the email ad. Let's see. Let's come back over here. We got the email address. Okay, good. So we'll say global. The reason why I'm doing that is because we're jumping all around within this same script. So we'll say data email. Man, why am I feeling hungry? Then you say global. That's what happens when you eat a little bit of carbs. You get hungry. ID. We'll use that too because we have this one, right? Then we're going to use rec account. So we're going to have a rec account because a lot of these things you're going to use. The technique, anyway, the names might be different, but the techniques. So I will create a token function that will test the password situation sent from the form, right, against the like a password token. And we talked about this. It's called like nouns, like this. It's just a weird name, like this, nouns. You know, I learned that from WordPress because that's what they use, right? And I just said, well, WordPress is written in PHP, that's for sure. So we're not going to work here. It's a simple thing. So what happens is in the form, you're going to need to use this. See, what happens is the form. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Why is it not? I'm stuck. I can't believe this. Why is this not? Hello? Okay, let's see if we can kind of save this. I can't believe it. I'm completely, it's completely stuck. It says that it was trying to do. All right. Where is my editor? All right, let's do this. So sorry, guys. This is the Atom editor. I'm going to get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And what I do is I come here, add a project. I will be showing you that in another time. This is why I don't concentrate on it. Let's get this out. Let's get this. It's going to do the whole thing. Then we're going to look for that particular file. It's under here. Oh, look, I found it. Why did it do that? I just don't know. Just don't know. Another day, man. Okay, right now we got this that goes with that. This goes with that. This goes with that. That goes with that. You got this with this. That should be good. Okay, so like I was talking about, this is a global file thing. Now we're going to do a function, right? We're going to call it nouns, just like I mentioned, something I learned when I was working with creating WordPress websites. And I'm talking about just opening website using templates. Although you can use themes to do that. But no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about creating everything from scratch. So now top token. We're going to use this token, right? And then we're going to add something that's just anything really. Let's see. Let's give it a weird. Let's see. MQG. Let's say 75. Pass. This has a parentheses. It's not. We're not creating functions. This is just we're using these special symbols. So I'm gonna say get form, close it up, and then just say a whole bunch of stupid numbers. We're gonna say 989898 like that. You can't figure this out. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna hash the token, right? We're gonna create a thing called pass word underscore hash, and what it does is takes this information and then like this stuff here and creates some crazy topography type things. And so we're gonna say $hash and hash token. That's a good one, right? Because it is what we're doing. And we're going to say password, which I'm going to show you this even more later on. But right now, I'm going to create this stuff nice. Remember, this, so it's a form, and then we're going to return it, right? Because what we're going to do with this information, we've got to return it. So we'll just copy and paste this thing. I'm still thinking about why my computer did that. So strange. Alright, so within the hash, we're going to churn it, right? We're going to take these token thing here, and we want to compare it. We're gonna compare it later, but we want to churn it into a weirdness password type, which this is the stuff that goes into a database. I don't have this set up right here, like to hold on to that stuff, but you could kind of created another one and call it hash password and then stick it right in there. But that's not what I'm trying to show you here. That's gonna come later when I show you something else. Let me see, token, which is that. And what I want to do, I'm going to hit the keyword password. It's just telling this guy the password hash that I want you to do something with this number. I want to turn it into some secure type string. Let's see. Did I spell that right? LT, I think it's pass default. Yeah, that's it. Then we're going to save it. Let's make a little room here because I like to keep it roomy. And then this is how you close. Well, we already closed it, right? Which is right here. We're going to be adding a lot. You'll see what I'm talking about. But for now, this is what we got. We got this. We got this. We got this. And that's good. Now let's get into the actual form thing. So we're not gonna no longer be here. We're gonna be here now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a div, right, which is boxes. So we're gonna say div, and I wanna create a style. Now normally, this style stuff that I'm showing you, you don't want to put it inside your your program like this. You want to keep, in other words, this is your HTML tags, but you don't want to put CSS stuff right into it, like embedded. For now, because we're training, yes, but when you want to embed something, you just got to put it right here in the header. And you got a link to a source. So it's going to be something like this. So it'll say something like link source, like that, you know what I mean? So what happened? Uh-oh, it's doing it again. Why? guys, what? Why is my computer? I don't understand this. Where's it? I'm going to start it up again. What are we using? Atom. Oh, guys. I'm too far in for me to restart this video. So I'm going to just do that. You know what I'm saying? Now we're going to come. We're going to Atom and we're going to open up a project folder. Don't worry, I'm going to be showing you how to do that in the future. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to say this, and then we're going to hit this. And there you go. We're back. And look, it kept all my stuff, thank God. So now that we have this, now we're going to come here. Then we're going to add our thing. We're going to say that it's width, because that's what we give it, right? We're going to say a width of 400 px, that's pixels. Then we're going to say I want a margin of, remember this is not an HTML or CSS thing. I'm going to show you that later, but if you do what I'm doing, it'll work for you anyway. Then you say auto, because you don't, auto margin 0 and automatic, do this on its own. Then you want to do a margin top, that's the part giving a margin to, well, I'm going to show you in a bit, giving to the margin on the top of the page. So that would be that 40. We're going to say that it's 40 pixels, semicolon equals to this. Okay. So now I'm going to give it that, remember that big title? I'm going to put it, I'm going to make it an H1. H1 style. I'm going to say equals to text line. I'm going to say I want it centered, right? I'm going to close it up. I'm going to say this, and then within that H1 we want the actual title. I'm going to say crude, remember we said system, like that, and then we're going to close it up, H1 like this. So strange, why would it still look? Let me see something, guys. So if I took this, put it here. Okay. There's something missing here. We got 40 px that auto that total margin that, and then you have this style. So that's okay, that's good. Alright, so then what you do is you're going to create the form. So the form is like this. Form, remember this is the action, this is when you hit the submit button where you want it to go. We're going to call ourselves, we're going to say CRUD, I'm going to say script dot PHP, and then what we're going to do is let's go like this. See how I put that in for me? We call this script, and make sure this is not in. Alright, so this is what we're going to do, man. We're going to do this. Then what's the method? Remember, we're going to use post. I told you it's way better than using get. So we'll say something like post, like that. And then you could say, remember I told you, because we're doing the upload from a file, we're going to add this encrypt type equals to multi-part / form data, like that. form data, data. They're from Star Trek. Then every form has a closing form, so that would be /form, right? That's how you close the forms. Now we want to add a field set. That's just giving you like a grouping, right? We'll call it field set, like that. And we're going to close it in a few seconds. Then we have, I guess we can put this in the same bunch. We're going to add, remember I told you that we can embed even within, which we've been doing, but we can also do it like this. It don't have to be big. It could be just small lines like this. You can say I'm going to echo the rec. Remember the rec ID, which we, right here, which we assign as a global. So now that's global. It could be read from anywhere in the program. So we say this, let me see, echo this. Then of course you gotta close up your thing there. Now we're gonna add a label, right? Because you know how we had the box, that's the input box where you put stuff, and above it says file name. I'm gonna show you how to do it both ways, so that way, you know, and it might be redundant, but I'm gonna show you both ways. So what you do is you go like this and you say label, like that. Yeah, I'll tell you, HTML5 got really good. And then we're gonna say first name, like that. And then we're gonna close it up, right? Because everything has got to start and closing. And then we're gonna close it up like this. And then we're gonna jump down, right? Like this. Now I'm gonna show you how to do the input. This is the input. I'm gonna put spaces in between so you can see it better. Then you say input. You're gonna say what the type is. You know it's text because that's what we're gonna send. Say text. Then you're gonna give it a name because that's how we're gonna know what each of those things are named. That's how you get that information. We're gonna say first name. And then you're gonna say what size you want. You wanna say give it like 25 pixels long. And how about the value? The value will be whatever you're gonna read. So what happens is you're gonna say value, right? And then you're gonna say, oh, let's add PHP. And then what you do is you do this, right? Then you're gonna echo, and you're gonna say $data first name. And then you're gonna add this, and then of course your closing one, which is this. This belongs to the input. This one belongs to the PHP one. Sorry about that, guys. Not to blow this fucking. There's a fly that's bothering me. So now what we do is we look at the. Let's give it some more spacing because I know we're gonna need it. We can always adjust later. Then we're gonna do the same thing. So how about if we I don't know. Let me see. We're gonna do last name. Yeah, let's do the last name part. So let's copy this. Let's put it over here. That would be last name. I'm gonna say last name right here. And we're gonna say last name right here. So we're gonna give it another 25, the same thing, data 25. See that right here? First name, last name, email. So we're gonna stick that right in there because when it calls itself, this thing right here, it's gonna have information already. So then when you go down the line to reprint the form, it's gonna have that information. Okay, so then now we want to do let's do the email. because we do need the email. So we're going to say this, copy, put it in there. Let's call this Mr. Roboto, email Roboto, Mr. Roboto. Email, and then you're going to say it is a text. We're going to call it email. And then we're going to make it bigger because you know it is big. I'm going to say 50. And then if you left it alone without these things, it'll be all the same size. And then of course you're going to have here your email. Email, like that. See, now you're going to have this, you're going to have that, blah, 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 blah. Then, what else do we want? Oh yeah, let's do a hidden file. Let's do a hidden file. It doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be spaced. Guess what? Nobody's going to see it. So let's cut this one. Put it in here. Let's change this to hidden. Right? You're going to call it rec ID. Rec ID. And then you're going to say, no, who cares about that? We don't need this to be big. This is written. It's not, you're not going to show it. This is behind the scenes. Then, of course, you're going to put this information right in here. It's called data right here. ID. That's not what we call it. Right here, data ID. All right, good. So we're going to do this. It's going to be hidden. Now we're going to add the label. I'm going to add this and this, and let's put this in there too. And we're going to put in the file type. This one says the label would be, we'll just say file to upload. How about that? To upload. And then of course this would be type file. Remember we talked about that before. Type file, and then you're going to call this file name. No nonsense, man. This is no nonsense. Practical PHP. So there you go, right? And then of course you don't need all this crap. So we're going to take this out like that. That's what we want. Then of course you got your spacing, and we're going to need buttons, right? So let's take this again. I'm going to put the buttons. This is where you put all your buttons. You know something? We're going to call it buttons. What the heck? See the HTML5 has this separate tags that will help you create buttons and so it's always been. Now over here we need to say type submit, because that's exactly what you're using to submit this stuff. Then you're going to call it, what do you call it? Insert, because that was the first one. So let's do this one. Insert. And then, you know, I'm going to end up with some errors, of course, as always. Then we're going to say, we don't need this, right? We don't need this crap. We're going to style it. So we're going to say style. And we're going to say, I want paddings. This is the paddings that's within the actual button. And I want you to say 5 pixels. Don't forget the semicolon. This is a rule in CSS. CSS being cascading style sheets. That's CSS. But we're not going to need that, so get that out. We're going to put it in here. We're embedding this inside the HTML. What else do we want it to put in here? We wanted to put, oh yeah, border, right? We don't say the border. And then we're going to make that 2 pixels. I want it solid. And let's give it the green color, or the blue, green, let me see. Green. Okay, let's do green. green color. Yeah, okay, don't forget the semicolon, otherwise it won't work. Then, of course, within these buttons, you got to have a close button, right? So you got to go like this. Close button, like that. But the button's going to be blank, so we need something. So we're going to put something right in there. We're going to call it insert, just like we did. And there you have. Let me see, it's caps, because I'm going to use caps. Let's copy this. And how many buttons did we have? Let's see. I know the first part was 3. Probably was 3. Let's move this guy. That's it. Let's go down more. This one we're gonna say that it's a reset. You know how you write something in the form but you don't like it, and you don't want to go reset the whole thing all over. Just say reset, it'll do it for you. Reset. And then you're gonna say the value would be, let me see, the value is reset. So I'm gonna change this to value because we don't need the name. And just say reset. We're gonna add 5 border 2 instead of doing that. Since it's resetting, let's make it into a red. Then on this one, we're gonna submit it again, and we're gonna do a refresh. I like to refresh the whole thing. I mean, you don't really need to do this. I just like to be thorough. You know what I'm saying? You want to show your bosses that you're like, hey man, this guy's ahead of the game. So we got 5, 5, 5. We got the 2 always. The buttons all have to kind of look the same, except for color. So in this particular case, we could leave it as a green. And then we could say over here, reload. So let's do the reload. Oh, whatever, we got to change that over there. Reload. And over here, we need to change it to reset. Reset. Like that. Oh man, my hand really hurts. Let's see if it'll work. See if we got any errors that we can catch right away. So there it goes. Remember, we had the button, well, but we have more buttons. So how about if we add the rest of the buttons? Yeah, let's do that. So we got the reset. We're gonna do the spacing. Let's read. Oof, what should we do? Let's take this label, put it over here, and then we're going to add read. It's just a label. Read slash create report. Should have kept it up. Reports instead of reline. Let me see, label. We got all right, I'm gonna do, how many do we need? So over here we have 1, 2, 3, and then we have 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna take all of this, we're gonna put it right in here, and of course we're gonna rename everything. This one we're gonna say view all. Hold on, man, I can't read. Hold on 1 second. So I'm going to take this. Let's open another one. Let's put that in there. And we're going to call it. Shit, what that? What was the name of this stuff? PHP. I'm sorry, man. I gotta look. Sorry, guys. We're gonna look, see where it is. Check crew. That's what we called it. Okay. So we're gonna say check crew, just like that. Let's see. There we go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're gonna add let's do the, what was it called again? Let's keep it up there. View that, view all. Okay, so then we're gonna keep the 5 and the 2. I'm gonna do solid. I'm gonna say that it's gonna be black. I just saw black, right? So, where is it? Right here. See, black. That'd probably be all black. Okay, good. So we're gonna say recreate. Okay, that means all this stuff is for this to recreate stuff. Okay, so we're gonna say, all right, we did that. Submit, and another submit. Let's do. Create reports. So in this particular case, you're not doing this. You're reviewing. So I'm gonna say view DB. Then I'm gonna say submit. Another submit button. Submit. You can make a lot of submits and put it within the form. That always tricks people up, or tricks them, you know, because they think in the beginning anyway, when you're learning, oh, you need one submit to it. No, you can do a whole bunch of them. Okay, let's do that. As long as it reads back itself and it reads that button, and it says within that PHP, it tells you what you have pressed, and then it goes to that branch, which will be a separate function. Let's say report. Okay, we're going to be the same thing. It's going to be black. The next one is going to be submit, create JSON. I'm going to say, what was the first one? Yeah, create reports. Sorry. I'm going to do create report. Then on here, I'm going to say JSON. I'm going to make it smaller. Create JSON. So I'm going to say create JSON. Okay, and then we're going to have one more. Let's put it in here. And this one's going to be read the JSON. So let me see. This one says that, okay, this one, to create JSON, that would be, we're going to call it JSON. Let's see, we'll say, and this one will say read JSON. That's the name. That's going to be like the ID. That's how you're going to get that information. So you're going to say read JSON like that, and it's all going to be black, and it's all blah, 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 blah. Let's save it. See what it looks like. Ooh, it's ugly. Something must have missed something. Let me see. We got your little. Oh, okay. We forgot to put in. Let's do this. So don't jump 2 lines. Give it a space so you can see it. Okay, good. Does it look like that? Sure, it was little. Alright. Doesn't look like that. But we'll fix that. Let me see. We got a line there, we got a line there. So we're going to do that. We're going to put a line between the file upload and the read. Okay. So where's your file upload at? The file upload. Where is it? Yeah, right here. this isn't the form, like I told you, this is not HTML course, but I'm giving you things that you're gonna be able to use. So we'll take that. That means the rule, the ruler head. So if we have this, and then we have 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna say 1, 2, and 3, which would jump right here. We'll see. Okay. Maybe a little space here. What do you think? Huh. I'm missing something. I know what we could do. Where's the read at? We're gonna do right here. Let's get rid of this. You know, actually, if you do this, let's see. Alright, maybe a little space. This is bull crap, man. What's happening in this country? Alright, let's see. It's a good spacing, right? What do you think? Show, man, show. We're gonna spacing here, we're gonna put a spacing there. So if this is your file, I'm gonna put a spacing right here. This is just one way of doing it. And then spacing right here. There's other ways of doing this without putting all these PRs and stuff. You could be using paddings and margins, because everything is a box. So I'm going to say BR, that would be good. Let's see. Okay, so we got a space here, we got a space there. That would be reload right here. Where is it? Reload, let's have another one. No, boom. Okay, good. Let me see, does it look like it? It's almost there. Okay, file, upload. Let's put one in here. There you go. Let's put one in here. Okay. So we got spacing, 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 spacing. And then we're going to have this one. Where is it? I'm going to have these things right here. Well, this will work. Sorry, man. There you go. Nice spacing, spacing, spacing. That would look like that one. Alright, so now let's add those other 3 buttons. So we're going to say, let's move this in. I'm going to take this, and there's only 3 buttons left. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to put it right here. Save it. Alright, good. This one only had 3 buttons. Alright, so this one is going to be called database functions. There you go. And then we're going to get rid of this one. We don't need it. Oh, man. There you go. Now it looks the same. This one jumped up a bit. Oh, because I put that. Yeah, I guess we could do that. Let's see. Where's your file upload thing here? I mean, we could do this, and this can jump over here. Yeah, take this out. And then take this out. There you go, see? Oops, sorry. There you go. Of course, there's a little, oh, 2, file 2, file upload, file to upload. We'll take this one out. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, now it looks that way. See, it looks the same, except for the, oh, put it back. Okay, file to upload. All right, now this has to change definitely, so let's get to the bottom. This one is going to use for inserting a record, right? Because it's this part here is the database, and then we're gonna have we're gonna say this one's to insert. Let me see what we got here. Oh, we're going to do the search first. Okay, so we'll do the search. There you go. And then we're going to say search right here. Search. And then on this one, we're going to keep this at what color? Blue. I'm going to say blue. Then we're going to say update, right? Because we're going to update the thing. Update. And what color did we give it? 2 blues. Why? And then we're going to give this one a red because you're deleting. You understand? So you got to give it a red. So you're going to say delete. Make this a red. What's the name? We're going to say search. This one will be update. And then of course you got your delete right here. Oh no, I just passed my window. Okay, so we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And there you go. Pretty good. Well, yeah, let's close up that field thing. Remember we said field? I added right here. It says field, oops, set, because I added right here. So we can just move this one right over here. That's the form. Now let's format. First of all, we did have a div, right? So if this was the form, then we did a div right there, so we're gonna need another div. Let me see. Div is like a box. There it goes, div. So you need to close that. See these little lines? The editor tells you where you should put it. Even that doesn't really matter, but it's just to make it look good. Let's take this out the way. I think it's too much space, guys. Okay, so now I know for a fact that we're gonna be getting messages, right? When you do something, you want to see a message. So right here, let's add another div. I'm gonna say div ID equals get message, and we're gonna style it. Let's do the old style, right? Style, and then we're gonna close it up. Is it? Oops, sorry. Now within the styles, we're gonna give it a text. Text align. This is another one. Telling you that you want it center. I want my text to be centered, and of course, am I calling to close the actual the actual you know box, because everything is a box in HTML. Everything is a box. Well, we reached the end of this enjoyable video. I hope you had fun. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and this will help grow my channel. On the next video, we're gonna go to the next part of getting this information and creating the forms. So until next time, good night.